All right, welcome into another edition of Catching Up with Tommy Mack here at 1010XL.com, 1010XL's podcast platform, on the website, on the app as well. Of course, we're on Facebook Live. Good morning to everybody on Facebook. Good morning or afternoon now, as it is 12 noon on Friday, August the 4th. Great to be here inside the 1010XL podcast studios. Got a lot to get into in I don't know, we'll get it going. We'll be on for a little bit. I got a lunch meeting at like 12:45. Beers and wings is my favorite kind of lunch meeting, and I've got one headed my way with my good friend Charlie, so looking forward to that. But in the meantime, we will get off and run in here talking about the Jaguars training camp, what I've seen, what I'm looking forward to see tomorrow, and get all through that. Brought to you by our friends at Chris Lucero's Bail Bonds, J-Dog Junk Removal, Riverbend Ranch, like the hat, Azar Sausage Company, and the Carpet Man. I tell you what, I love representing some of the best businesses right here in Northeast Florida. Let's say hello to my friend Grammage, as I like to call him. It's Graham Marsh, my producer here on Catching Up. What's up, Grammage? How you doing, dude?
Good, man. It's Friday.
Yep.
It's Friday. Training camp is here.
Yep.
We had granted, just the Hall of Fame game, but we had a football game last night.
I didn't watch any of it.
I didn't either.
I don't know why. I just didn't get into it. I was like, I remembered it was on. I was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like watching it.
I didn't either, but just the fact that
we have it.
There was a televised football game on last night.
Mm-hmm.
That.
Yeah,
it's tough to be upset this time of year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt about it. We're glad football's here. Colleges are reporting this week. High school, hey, I know everywhere in the country, but especially here in Florida, Jacksonville, great high school ball. College, of course, is all big and grand here in Northeast Florida and Jacksonville. Of course, our Jaguars have the day off today. A well-deserved day off. They've been in pads. Look, here's the thing. It's a different kind of camp. Like there's no goal line scrimmages, right? There's a little bit of thud. There's a little bit of violence, but it's not like full-on violence trying to light somebody up, that type of thing. But I will tell you this. The way Doug Peterson gets pretty much everybody on the roster reps is quite amazing, because he puts them on different fields and they're being coached like they're first teamers, even though they're not first teamers. If you get my drift, you'll see the ones versus ones on one field. You'll see the twos versus twos, twos versus threes, threes versus three on another field, being coached up by other members of the staff, just like the one versus ones are being coached up by Doug Peterson, Press Taylor, Mike Caldwell, and all of that. So the reps are phenomenal. I mean, they're getting it in. They only have one practice a day. They've got to get it in. But I think, because normally just to put it out there, normally when you have two-a-days, your ones go, then the ones rest. The twos go, then the twos rest. Threes go, then the three, and then you keep doing it until the
it's almost like taking
ring.
Shifts.
Right, you're taking shifts, but not what they're doing today. No, those one versus ones, they're running a ton of reps. I would be not counting individual drills, just team reps, 7-on-7, any kind of 11-on-11, 2-minute. They're easily getting 60 reps a piece, without a doubt, offense and defense, which is basically a game. If you look at it, it's 60 to 70 reps, each side of the ball, typically during a regular season game. So they're getting after it. So much deserved day off. A big day tomorrow, which Grammage and myself will be out there. A lot of us from 1010. We'll be out there, a scrimmage, if you will, in the stadium, on the field, of course. I don't know what kind of scrimmage it's going to be yet. Again, it's such a fine line to not get guys hurt. The Houston Texans just lost their center for the year, starting center, towards ACL and MCL. I know it's the Texans. Everyone's like, oh, whatever. I don't like guys getting hurt, and nobody in the organization. Any organization wants any player getting hurt during practice. But you have to practice, and you have to practice at a high-intensity level, but how high? So I don't know what it's going to be like tomorrow. I'm hoping it's a little bit more than what we've seen. I think there's been some violence at the line of scrimmage, just initial hits. I tell you, I was telling my brother Mike on the way in today, his young son, my nephew, is playing guard as a freshman in high school. And I was talking to him about Brandon Scherf and how he comes off the ball. And I don't care if it's in a team drill against another player or in an individual drill where the other offensive lineman's holding a pad. His initial come off is kapow. Hands, helmet, shoulders, violent into that player. I think every guard should watch the way Brandon Scherf comes off the line of scrimmage.
He's made multiple Pro Bowls for a reason.
There is some violence in little spurts. So I'm not trying to – they're not playing patty cake. It's not too anti – they're getting after it on the line of scrimmage. There's just no big-time hits on the running back, no big-time hits on the receivers or tight ends. It's more like touch, that type of thing. Will tomorrow be different? I hope it's different tomorrow because I want to see – you know what I want to see tomorrow, if I may?
What's that?
I want to see the defense dominate a little bit, ones versus ones. I want to see what we have up front.
Spoken like a true linebacker.
I know. But look, you know why, though? Graham?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say something even further. I feel good about the offense. And I do feel good about the defense. But I got to see more that I know that this defense is going to be, look, will they be championship caliber? Remains to be seen. We'll see. They look good on paper. I don't necessarily need to see him at championship caliber level tomorrow. But it's funny about this camp. Excuse me. Typically in training camp, the defense is ahead of the offense. I feel like in the beginning of camp, the offense was way ahead of the defense, but the defense is caught up. And now it's pretty competitive. Do you agree with that?
I would totally agree with that.
So I wonder, maybe it's because it's not as physical, like when you're playing defense, if you can be full physical, you should be ahead, but they're not, so it's okay. But I'm okay with the offense. The skill positions I feel great about. I do. I feel really, really good about our skill positions.
Backs, receivers, tight
really
ends.
fast. They run great routes. I was talking about the coach, Chad Hall, earlier. I love the way he's coaching these guys. It's the one thing that stands out, and I love the attention to detail, is he wants his receivers, and all you young receivers out there need to hear this. You got to sell the deep route. Every single route for the most part, unless you're running a quick slant, you're only going to shake them a little bit and come inside, that type of thing. But if you're going to run any kind of deep out, any kind of post, any kind of down and in, or like I said, a deep comeback, you got to sell that you're going deep. And he's got them working at it like big time, and I love it. They did a drill the other day. Here's the line. I want you to sell over the line and then come back and catch the ball. So it's kind of like get past the first down marker, then come back, make the catch for a first down.
Yeah.
What's the one thing that drives you nuts? When you catch it, it's 3rd and 7, and you catch the ball at 6 and get tackled. You know what I mean? You got to get above that and come back. Selling it again. So anyway, I've really enjoyed that. But I'm good with the offense. Now, the offensive line, here's the issue. It's not even an issue. It's just something to talk about. So I'm watching one-on-ones, and Walker Little to me has really stood out. Okay, one-on-one offense versus defensive line, offensive line, D-line, pass rush. They all line up, but only 2 guys go: the defense guy and the offense guy. He's shut down pretty much everybody that he's gone against. Maybe not every single rep, but he looks really good. But I'm standing there next to Logan, and I'm like, here's my problem though. Like, how do we know how good the other side is?
We don't.
Right.
We don't.
I got to temper my. Look, he looks really good. Scherf looks really good. We don't know about Harrison because he's been injured a little bit. He looks athletic. I mean, he does look like he can move. Fortner's had a good camp. Left guard, interesting yesterday. So Shatley was out. Barch is still on PUP, physically unable to perform this. Although, with all the drills I see him doing, he looks like he's physically able to perform. I don't know. He
needs to be moved to PAP.
Like, when does it come out? Like, he's ready now. Because he looks like he's ready, but maybe he's not. But first guy in was Hance, number 73. Did you notice that yesterday?
I did not, no.
First guy in was number 73 to take over that next guard spot. Now, they also had other guys. Brewer, number 67, got in there and played a little left guard. They did move Walker down to left guard, which I know we've talked about it. Haven't seen a lot of it, and then Cam was next to him. I didn't see Cam at guard, so I don't know anything about that. But I'm okay with the skill. I want to make sure the O-line is good enough. They don't have to be the best, but they got to be good enough. I think they're getting there, but I really want to see this defense. I mean, at the end of the day, can we get to the quarterback? Now, I'll tell you, and you've already heard it. You've heard it, me talking, and even on the radio. Devin Lloyd looks outstanding. He looks really good. They are, and it's funny because I didn't want to come out and say it, but when he got interviewed, he said it. So it's okay to say it now because, you don't want to give away secrets. Fans can see it. You can do whatever you want. But me personally, former player media, I don't want to tell you exactly what they're doing. You know what I mean? Until it's okay to do it. So what Devin Lloyd is saying, yeah, no, I'm an inside linebacker, but there are situations where they're putting me up on the edge, and they are. And which brings in the question, are the Jags going to go after a pass rush specialist? My answer is I don't think they are.
I don't think so either.
And I think they feel that Devin Lloyd could be that guy. I'm telling you, he did it in college. He looks really good. And not just from the outside. He looks really good from the inside, too. He has been on every coverage for the most part. Doesn't look out of position. Even if they complete the ball, he's right there. He's making plays. He looks good in one-on-ones. He looks athletic. He looks big. Muma looks good, too. I think Aluakin, Muma, and Lloyd are going to be a strength on this team. I think they've looked really good. Foley looks really good. When he's healthy, that guy, Fatakasi, gosh,
one day you'll get it.
Foley, I'm just going to call him Foley. That's an Irish name. I can remember that one. That was my quarterback's last name at Boston College, Glenn Foley. But no, I think, is one of the keys to having a really good defense. Roy Robertson-Harris has done really well this camp as well. Okay? Now, flip it around. How do I feel about that defensive lineman going against that offensive lineman? I feel better than the other way around. You know what I'm saying? So if you're beating Scherf, I know Scherf's a really good player.
Right.
So you're doing something there. You're beating Walker. Walker's a really good player. I'm not going to put him on the Scherf level, but he looks like he's
that's
the real
a good
deal.
point.
You know what I'm saying? I feel better about that.
It tells you more about the defense if the defense wins a rep.
Correct.
I agree with that.
Against those guys.
I haven't thought about that, but that's a good point, and I agree.
Against those guys, though.
Yeah.
Not just any offensive.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But I hear what you're saying, though, because in those individual drills, when it's Jaguar versus Jaguar, and one guy wins and one guy loses, it's always pro or con. You can play either side of the coin, whatever you want to do, until it's up against people not wearing Jaguar uniforms.
Exactly. Exactly. And we're going to see that pretty quick, right? They've got 2 away preseason games. They're going to go to Detroit for 5 days and then play. That'll be a good week for them. The last preseason game, that's, all the backups, guys on the bubble trying to make the team. It's still an important game for a lot of guys. So, look, I think tomorrow I'm just looking for the Jags D front, especially in the pass game, to dominate them. That would make, if I walked away from, and I know everyone's kind of the opposite. Here's a funny thing, too, with Trevor. I don't really watch Trevor because I already, you know what I mean? It's like,
he's good.
He's
good.
Good.
Yeah.
Like I'm not worried about it. I feel so confident about Trevor Lawrence, more than I've ever had.
How amazing of a feeling is that?
Oh my gosh! Remember, even 2 years, even last year, had a bad day. Be like, oh my god.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. I totally screwed up my thing. Maybe I can get that back together. There we go. Can't bang the table, Tom. But you know what I mean. I'm good with him. I think he's going to continue to be. He just looks so confident. And that's what you need. He's got all the goods. He's got all that stuff. Has he thrown a couple bad balls? Yeah. But it's not like you sit there and be like, oh, no, I'm worried. You're not.
Go. I mean, and also go to Buffalo right now and watch Bills camp, and you'll see Josh Allen throw a couple of bad balls. Or go to Chiefs camp. Mahomes is going to throw a couple of bad. You know what I mean? It's camp.
Hey, go watch the quarterback series on Netflix, and you'll see Mahomes struggle in a game big time.
Yes.
Where you never think like he's ever struggled in a game.
You just especially because they just won the Super Bowl. Yeah. It's just this feeling like this guy does the best possible thing in every play ever. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like you go back, it's like, oh no, they actually had a little bit of a valley in their season, and Mahomes kind of had to climb out of bit of a rough patch from a couple of games, and it's like, oh yeah, even the best quarterbacks struggle. Yep. You know what I mean?
It's a tough game. It's a tough game going against some of the best athletes and animals out there, no doubt about that. So I'm good with that. I'd like to see the defensive front really win tomorrow. For me, that's important. On the flip side of it, I want to see Tank Bigsby run through a hole that's full speed and then take it to the house. That kid looks really good. Travis looks good. Travis is going to have a big year. There's no doubt about that. Tank Bigsby, I tell you. And by the way, Johnson and Hasty, you're going to have 4 pretty good backs combined. The other 2 are more elite than the other 2, but still combined, they're very good running back room. There's no doubt about that.
We've both been out of camp for multiple days. I think is it safe to say that Snoop Connor's on the outside looking in?
Aside from special teams, yes. I think he's got to do something on special teams.
Well, the other 2, I think, can play special teams.
Well, Johnson, for sure. He's had a lot of reps, especially getting from the Browns.
That's going to be the problem, is it's like, okay, if both of these guys can play special teams and they're higher up than you on the running back depth chart.
Right.
I've watched Hasty get carries in a playoff game. I know I can trust him.
Catching the ball in the backfield.
Right.
Yeah,
Dearness Johnson has had a stretch where he's been one of the best running backs in fantasy football when Nick Chubb went out with the Browns. Like, I hate to say it, but Snoop is really, it's going to be really tough for him.
Well, he's got to beat other special teamers out, other backups at other positions.
Yeah, that's true.
And they still need their backups, so you got to factor that in. But maybe there's a third team guy they're considering, and then they're considering Snoop. Who's the better special teamer? Not who's better at their position. That's what it comes down to on those bubble guys.
You know what? I know you're going to agree with me on this based on, kind of your opinions on how you construct a roster, but something that makes me feel really good about this team, top to bottom, is there's a ton of guys on this team that are like JaMychal Hasty.
Yeah.
That are like the no glamour guys. They're never going to complain about anything. They're not huge cap guys. You don't pay them a ton of money or anything like that, but they're just reliable. Like, I mean, you think about
solid
Hasty, Shatley, Daniel Thomas, Dewey Wingard. Like, Dewey, I know Dewey got paid a little more this off, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he worked his way up.
There's all these guys on this team now that are just culture guys.
Muma
will sacrifice their body. Will just play their ass off, have played well in big moments, have made plays before. And you've said this 1,000 times, you've got to have those guys.
Without a doubt. The grunts.
If you don't have them, you will not win. You will not go where you want to go if you don't have them. You will not do it.
Well, here's another, if Shatley's my starting left guard, and he has been up until or throughout camp, he goes down, I need someone to fill that void. Think about how important that's what I'm talking about. Those grunts, they're the ones that you really need to come through. Especially and now Shatley's a grunt. He gets paid good money too, but he's still a grunt. He's you need him to be a really good guard. What if he gets hurt? I need someone to step in and be a really good guard. Maybe not as good as him, fill the void as much as you can, but those grunt players are extremely important.
And I think they build your culture. As much as, if not more than the stars. The quarterback, with the exception.
Right.
But a star receiver doesn't build the culture as much as 7 or 8 grunt guys.
Right.
That really collectively build the mold of the team. Because in the league, everybody gets it. Everybody knows who the stars are. Everybody understands if they're treated a little differently on it. Everybody kind of gets that.
Right.
You know what I mean? You weren't sitting there when you were playing wondering why Jimmy Smith was treated differently.
No.
You know, it's Jimmy freaking Smith. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's the point.
Well, grunts understand the stars.
That's true.
They understand star treatment. That's why grunts make great coaches. I'm telling you.
Doug Peterson was a grunt.
I know he was. Bill Cowher was a grunt.
Yep.
I mean, there's a bunch of different grunts. You can go through the whole list, but they make really good coaches because they know how it all fits. They're okay with star players getting star treatment because they are stars. There's nothing wrong with that. I remember Dave Campbell saying to me on the side, he's like, look, Jimmy told the whole team, I'm not treating you all the same. Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
To the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
I'm not treating you all the same. They're star players. They're going to get star treatment. There's other guys, hey, we need you. We love you, but you're not a star.
You're much easier to replace.
Yeah. All right, true story. Going back in time, I'm a fifth grader starting on the 6th grade St. Mary's of Buffalo Grove football.
That's big time.
And I'm the starting fullback. My brother Mike's one of the tailbacks. We ran like a wing T thing, I forget what we call it, T thing. So we had a 2-back, a 3-back, and a 4-back. I was the 3-back. My job was to block for the 2-back and the 4-back. I don't even think I ever got a carry. We're at Sports Mart, which was a department store for sports. So I go to pick out. We're going to buy cleats. I go to pick out a white pair of cleats. My dad goes, no. The stars wear white. You're going to wear a black pair. And I was like, what? He's like, your brother's he's just starting tailback. He's a starting team. You wear the black shoes, and you earn the white shoes. So the next year, we went, and I was a starting tailback now, and guess who got to wear the white shoes? Anyway, the reason I'm telling you this story.
That's an amazing story.
No, wait, it gets better. It gets better. So years and years later, like I'm in high school.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm going to Boston College yet, but I'm maybe a sophomore, junior, whatever. We go to the Sports Mart. I need football cleats. My dad needs new golf shoes. My dad goes for the white pair, and I'm like, wait, no, you're not a star golfer. You can't wear white. And he starts laughing, my old military dad. He just started laughing his ass off. I'm like, you got to get brown or black shoes. You're not a star golfer. But no, and he also used to say, don't act like a big shot until you are one. And you should be humble regardless, but especially don't act like you're some big shot if you're not a big shot. And I learned that at an early age. So you always had to earn it. It was fine. I didn't mind earning the white shoes. Back then, it was Billy White Shoes Johnson. Everybody wanted white shoes. Are you kidding me? Remember that return man? He was absolutely
He had the end zone
phenomenal.
Dance.
What's that?
He had the end zone dance, right? He'd throw his hands up.
The knees would just ding, 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 ding. Yeah, they were absolutely fantastic. I'll tell you what's fantastic. You see it on my hat. On my head, the hat on my head, Meat 55, Riverbend Ranch. I'm telling you, the steaks are phenomenal. They are absolutely incredible. Make sure you call 904-234-4893 or text pound 55 meat, and you're going to get some of the best steak delivered right to your home. We're going to have a cookout soon. I think it's coming up in a couple weeks. I'll get that date together. I'm going to be cooking. We're going to be drinking beers, and we're going to be talking football. It's going to be a great, great thing. But buy your bundle. They're throwing in extra steaks. One of their bundles, and it ranges in size. I think the lowest one can give you about 15 meals, 10 to 15 meals. Higher ones are like 30. It's some of the best meat. No hormones, no antibiotics, delivered straight to your door. So looking at tomorrow, and guys that I want to see even more. I want to see Devin Lloyd a little bit more, and Chad. I think that Lewikin's got a little bit of hamstring. I saw him grabbing it the other day. I wonder if he's got a little bit of a pull there. I don't know how much we'll see out of him.
He's a bubble wrap guy. If you want to put him in bubble wrap and just save him,
yeah, he's fine. Yeah,
he's bubble wrap guy.
He's had a great camp. I mean, of course, better than last year. I mean, he looks even better than last year. Yeah.
You talk about reliable.
Yeah, and he's a star. He plays the grunt, but he's a star. Yes. If that makes sense. He's a star at a grunt position. No doubt about it. But I'm looking forward to seeing those guys. I already mentioned Foley. Devon Hamilton's had a good camp. Roy Robertson Harrison has had a good camp. Trayvon's been okay. He looks the part. I just got to see more out of him. And Josh Allen looks good. I mean, he does. But, again, last camp, he looked great, too. And he had a good year. It's funny, and I know guys have jobs to do, but they throw stats out about Josh. I made a point about this today. Stats. Well, the eye test should match the stats, right? Or the stats should match the eye test. So I don't care, like, pressures, hits, whatever. Your job is, if you want the big money, is what? Sacks.
Yeah.
7.5 sacks is not enough for our supposed number one pass rusher on the team. It's not enough. I like him as a player. I've always said that. I think he's a good player. He disappears time to time, and that's fair. I'm sorry. It is. He does. He's not consistent enough for me to sit there and be like, yeah, you should pay him whatever he needs. He's the next great pass rusher we need. He's going to dominate. What do I want out of my pass rushers? I want you to be in the backfield. I want you to disrupt. Be a disruptor. Not some of the time. All the time. What does that mean? Doesn't always mean I'm going to get the sack. Doesn't always mean I'm going to hit the quarterback. But I mess up their play. I'm in their backfield all day long, and it's screwing the timing up. Run, pass, that kind of thing. That's when you have a dominant player. He has not been dominant. So I want to see more out of him, too. But I don't think we're going to see it tomorrow.
And it's a classic. I like the fact that you always kind of push back on this a little bit, because it's the classic football coach thing to say about everybody worries about sacks, but it's about pressures, and pressures are all. But if you're consistently getting pressures, you should be consistently getting sacks.
Correct.
Not as many, obviously. Not every pressure. You're not going to get a sack every pressure, obviously. No. But according to PFF type stuff that we've talked about before, according to them, I don't see it as much like the eye test. But according to them, Josh Allen must just live in backfields.
No, I know.
Apparently, he
top
just
3, top 5.
He just gets pressure all the time.
No, right.
His name's always mentioned.
All right, let me throw this
lists.
and I don't know if I know the answer, but I'm going to ask you. Out of 17 games, how many did he disappear?
Oh my God, a lot.
5?
More than that. I
think more than 5.
Yeah. The worst showing for that defense by far was that Lions game.
Oh,
I mean,
that was terrible.
Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen may as well have just not traveled to Detroit.
You didn't even hear their name.
Why'd they even come?
Yeah.
But I mean, and listen, sacks do matter.
They do.
I can't stand when coaches always talk about pressure, and they say it as if sacks aren't important.
Right.
And they say more pressures are more important, and that's fine. But, like, you need to get sacks, man.
Let me throw this at you. So, okay, we're the pressure king.
Right.
Why are we 42% on third down?
Right, exactly.
Why? So does that pressure matter if I'm still not getting off on third down? It doesn't matter.
Correct.
It's getting your hands on the quarterback, hitting the quarterback, getting him on the ground.
Go rewatch that Chiefs playoff game.
Yep. Oh, the
Jaguars got in the backfield and had Mahomes dead to rights.
Yep.
More than one time.
Yep.
And Mahomes got out of it and then did what he does.
Yeah,
he did the Patrick Mahomes thing.
Yep.
And that probably cost this defense at least 14 points in that game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There were more than one drive where it was a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 4, something like that.
Dude.
And there was one where Devin Lloyd had Mahomes dead to rights.
Yep.
Mahomes ducks the sack, gets it to Kelsey, first down.
Right.
They score like 3 plays later.
Kelsey was the problem that day.
100%.
And also that you allowed Chad Henne to drive 98 yards. I no disrespect to Chad. He's a fine quarterback. He's had a great career, but he's not Patrick Mahomes. And he gave up a 98-yard drive.
100%. So I agree.
Again, the eye test should show, more than just the stats, without a doubt. Hey, Carbon Man's back on the show. LVP, that's right, luxury vinyl planking. Make sure, he's got truckloads of it. Truckloads. Go check him out. Orange Park. And, of course, on St. John's Bluff Road, highest quality at the lowest price. It can't beat the price. I'm telling you right now, cannot beat the price at Carpet Man. All right, I do want to get into something real quick about these running backs, because I know, look, you look at a guy like Josh Jacobs, not out there. Other running backs upset about, their role, their money, and whatnot. And Graham, I want to get your thoughts on this, too. So, I was looking this week because I keep hearing, they got a gripe, they got a gripe, they got a gripe. Okay, so let's break it down. Do they really have a gripe? My first defense against that gripe is this. Go Google 2023 franchise tag numbers for the NFL. Just go Google it. Guess who's second to last at 10 million? The running back position. Special teams is the last. They're at 5 million tag. The running back's at 10. Tight ends higher, safeties higher, outside backers higher, the edge rushers higher, the defensive linemen's higher, the offensive tackles higher, and the quarterback's higher, and the receivers higher. Now, as a collective group, did we not, as players, have to agree on those numbers in order for the CBA to go through? The answer is yes. Right? You would have to sit there and be like, I don't like that. That's not fair. I want that number. Whatever the case may be. It's collective. It's not just the players. I understand that. But when I look at those franchise tag numbers, if you're just a running back, you got no argument. You don't have an argument. I'm sorry. You could go, well, what about McCaffrey? Well, look, okay. Do you line up in the slot and are you a threat in the passing game? I'm not talking check down. That's part of your game. You have to be a good check down back. I'm talking about being a threat in the passing game.
Can I run
Eckler's
a post?
A threat. What's that?
Can I run a post?
Right.
Like 15, 20 yards down the field.
Can I beat the guy in front of me and take it to the house from the slot position as a receiver? That's how you get paid more. And I know we've been talking about this for a couple weeks. And I know Travis Etienne, when he was asked, he's like, well, you kind of got to do more. You got to do more as a back.
He had a perfect answer, by the way.
Yeah, it is perfect. So even if you think about, like, Saquon Barkley, is he worth more than that tag number? What does he do? I know he catches balls out of the backfield. He also averages like 6 yards a catch with not a ton. Now, the one guy that's got a big argument is Eckler. Because he's not just a guy that catches the ball out of backfield. That guy scores touchdowns. Run, pass, whatever. He is a touchdown-making machine.
He catches more than he runs.
Alvin Kamara, those types of guys are going to be paid more than just the power-type backs that we saw in the 90s or even the 2000s. You know what I mean? I think that you just got to know. Maybe Josh Jacobs, could he be used in that role? It seems like he could be. I don't know how good his hands are out of the backfield. I don't know how good his route running is, but he's got the speed and athleticism and the power to do both. He may have an argument to be paid a little bit more. What is that number? I don't know, but it's not much higher than the $10 million that the tag is at, in my opinion.
Wait, so you mean to tell me that NFL players are upset about a CBA that they agreed to?
I don't think they should be.
I'm stunned.
No,
we've never seen that before.
Yeah, right.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
how every single CBA this happens.
Yep.
Every single time the players sign off on something.
Yep.
And 2 years later, they hate the deal and they're taken advantage of, and this is the worst. And how dare the NFL, big bad NFL, so horrible. It's like, bro. You have these negotiations for a reason. Yeah. No one had a gun to your head to sign it.
No, right.
It's unbelievable.
Right. Now, there are exceptions to that rule. Like,
of course there are.
Take Pat Mahomes. When he signed his deal, he was the number one paid quarterback in the league. Now he's like 5th. After this next group that gets signed, he'll be like 7th or 8th. You tell me he ain't going to the Chiefs being like, I'm better than the 7th or 8th. So I need an uptick. I need a new deal. I know I'm 5 years into my 10-year deal, but we knew this was going to happen.
And I think
so I get that. That's okay, though. You understand that.
And with them, I think both sides kind of get how their contract is going to work.
Yeah, right.
The Chiefs can't realistically think that Mahomes, when he's the 12th highest paid quarterback, is just going to be cool with that.
Right.
They knew that.
Yep.
I think that they gave him that long deal to just buy themselves as much time as possible.
Sure. And spread it out.
And they'll just renegotiate and they'll just extend.
But you understand that.
Of course.
But when you're talking about the tag number being at $10 million, unless you do something special, your number's going to be around $10 million a year. I don't know why that's so hard to accept to figure out. And by the way, if you sign a 4 or 5 year deal, $10 million a year, you're set for you're set for 1 year. If you do it right, 1 year, $10 million, you're set for life.
Also, it's like, first of all, it's not like this is the first year running backs started getting taken advantage of.
Right.
I don't know why they're all of a sudden catching on. And then also, this whole nonsense about how unfair it is.
Yeah, whatever. That's society. Everybody's crying about that.
Y'all have never complained about how much guards make.
Right.
Why weren't Austin Eckler and Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry and all these guys that spoke out about it, why weren't they upset when guards had to sign the tag or whatever? Now, because it's you, it's a problem now. Come on now.
Think about, I think Evan Ingram's a good example because he's a tight end, but he's kind of a quasi wide receiver. So he's going to get paid more than the $11 million a year that the tag offers. Just because why? He does more than just a regular tight end.
He's not just sitting there blocking every play.
No, and he's a threat every single time he touches the ball. He's a home run hitter, no doubt about that. You want to hit a home run when eating and buying sausage, make sure you ask for Azar sausage next time you go to Winn-Dixie, Publix, or any of your other local grocers. I was over there yesterday. They gave me a tour again. It's pretty wild, man. It's all homegrown and down home, grown locally and processed locally. You can also bring your deer there, so make sure you think of them. Azar Sausage Company, third generation. That's right. The brothers are running it now. And they're doing a great job. Phil and John, the grandfather started it during World War II. Dad took it over, and now the boys are taking it over, and they are growing like crazy. I tell you what, the mild and the hot are my two favorites. Go check them out and see what they can offer you at Winn-Dixie, especially, man. Just some great stuff. So we're going to be out there tomorrow. I'll probably give a little report here on Facebook after, just kind of get out there and see how they're doing. I guess my only real concern is O-line and pass rush, but I think that's been the concern pretty much the entire offseason. Now, again, I think a couple things. I think Phil Rosher's going to figure it out on the O-line. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he did it last year. I think he made everybody better last year. And we thought they were going to be a weak link coming in. I don't know if they're weak. I don't think they're weak. I just don't know how strong they are. Like I want to see more of that. And then it's pass rush, right? But I think with Mike Hall, I think they're getting really creative with pass rush. I do. I think you're going to see a lot of different attacks from the outside, from the inside. Safeties creeping up, nickel guys creeping up, moving. Look, you'll see Lloyd start behind the line, and then they shift. Trayvon goes down. Lloyd's right next to him. It's going to be an interesting thing. So I think Lloyd may be the X factor here. And I'll tell you right now, when he was at Utah, that he did a lot of that, standing up on the outside. I like the way Mike Caldwell blitzes him from the inside. So I think he's going to have a tremendous year. I think he's a star in the making. I'm not calling him a star yet, but I think he has a chance, Devin Lloyd, to be a real star for this team and for the league.
I agree. I think last year set the expectations a little bit high with him because I think it was a little bit just bouncing off the Trayvon Walker pick. It was like, okay, we know Trayvon's going to be a little bit of a project. It's a position he hasn't really played.
Yep.
But Devin Lloyd should be day one ready. So
yeah, absolutely. My phone just died, so I apologize for that if you were watching on my thing. Look, and again, he was out all training camp. He missed a ton of reps, Devin Lloyd, last year. Ton. I think it took time to catch up. And look, I think he finished strong. So I expect, look, he's been here all offseason, him and Chad Muma. I think they're going to be a strong suit for this team, without a doubt.
Last quick thing is I know you've been focused on the defense and you want the defense to have a really strong day tomorrow. The fan in me, I need one Trevor Lawrence.
You're going to see it.
Just uncorking the ball to Ridley for 60 yards.
You're going to see it.
I need it just because football's not totally back yet.
Yep.
I need it like a smoker just needs like a little bit of nicotine.
Yep.
And I need to play.
You need a heater.
Just need a play.
A little heater for you.
Yes.
Don't be surprised if that bombs to Zay Jones.
Yeah.
The record.
100%.
Phenomenal.
Oh my God.
He has been phenomenal. He looks really good. He's fast. He's big. He's got great hands. He runs great routes. And again, I got to credit the coach, all of them, man. They really are attention to detail with that technique. A quick reminder on J-Dog Junk Removal. They're looking for veterans. They're veteran-owned and operated, veteran families, and they're looking for veterans to join their team. If you know a veteran out there, make sure you check out J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. They'll take all your appliances, your furniture, anything you want removed, big or small. They do it with respect, integrity, and trust. And they'll clean up after themselves. But if you got a veteran out there looking for work, to work with like-minded people that serve just like they did, you need to check out J-Dog Junk Removal at jdogjunkremoval.com. All right, that's going to do it for me. Like I said, I've got a nice business lunch headed my way. Some chicken wings, going to Culhane's right here in Southside. Going to have maybe a couple pops for my friend Charlie. And then head back to the beach. I hope you all have a great weekend. If you're out there at the scrimmage tomorrow, please say hello. And looking forward to meeting. I'm always available to meet, man. Love talking to people, especially our Jag fans. And quick reminder out there, if you get thrown in the clink this weekend, call my friend Chris Lucero because he'll get you out in a blink. How do you like that one? Came up all by myself. 904-822-BAIL, the number one name in the bail game. It's Chris Lucero's Bail Bonds. So St. Augustine and Clay County, but serving all over Northeast Florida. Make sure you give him a call at 904-822-2245. That's going to do it for me. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed the show as much as I love delivering it. I love football season. It's here upon us. We've got high school, college, and, of course, the Jags and the National Football League. And until next time, stay safe and be cool, man. We'll see you right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mack. Peace.